Hello friends and welcome back. Today I want to bring some clarity to a subject that often creates confusion, the difference between prayer and meditation. At first glance they may seem very similar. Both take place in silence. Both invite us to slow down. Both are often described as paths to peace. And because of these similarities, many people assume that prayer and meditation are basically the same thing, just with different labels. But when we look deeper, we discover that prayer and meditation are not only different, they are built on completely different foundations, and they lead the human soul in very different directions. Let's start with meditation as it is practiced in the East. In Hinduism, meditation is closely tied to the search for moksha, liberation from the endless cycle of rebirths, and union of the individual soul with Brahman, the ultimate universal spirit. The aim is to transcend individuality, to realize that your deepest self, your Atman, is actually one with the divine whole. In Buddhism, meditation is directed toward nirvana, the extinction of desire, the end of suffering, the dissolution of the self into a state of non-attachment. Both traditions are rich and complex, but they share this core element. The goal is to go beyond your personal identity and merge into something impersonal. Now compare that with prayer. Prayer does not erase the individual. It affirms the individual. It is not about dissolving into silence or merging with a cosmic whole. It is about entering into relationship, a relationship with a personal God who knows you, who calls you by name, who listens. In prayer, you don't lose yourself. You bring your whole self, your joys, your guilt, your doubts, your dreams, and place them in the hands of someone who loves you. Meditation, especially in its modern forms of yoga or mindfulness, usually works by emptying the mind. The idea is to silence thoughts, detach from worries, and create inner space. Prayer also seeks peace, but not through emptiness. In prayer, the heart is not emptied, but filled with words, with gratitude, with cries for help, with thanksgiving, with praise. The silence of meditation is the silence of nothingness. The silence of prayer is the silence of presence, a holy stillness that comes because you know you are not alone. Many meditation practices encourage opening yourself to universal energies. The language can sound beautiful. Align your chakras, connect with the cosmos, become one with the universe. But here's a serious question. When you open your inner life to unknown energies, do you really know what you are connecting to? Who or what is on the other side of that opening? History and experience both show that these practices can sometimes slide into occult territory, channeling spirits, seeking hidden powers, or exploring dimensions that are not safe. Prayer, on the other hand, is also an opening, but it is not an opening into the unknown. It is an opening into a relationship with someone revealed. You know who is listening. You know his character. You know his love. You are not stepping into a void, but into a Father's embrace. This distinction is so important. In Buddhist meditation, the way to deal with suffering is detachment. If you can stop clinging to things, you will not suffer when they fade. In Hindu meditation, the way to escape the pain of this life is to transcend the cycle itself by realizing your oneness with Brahman. But in prayer, suffering is not escaped through detachment or transcended through philosophy. It is carried into the presence of God. It is spoken. It is wept out. It is offered to the one who can transform it. Prayer does not numb pain by teaching you to suppress desire. It redeems pain by bringing it to the Redeemer. Some might wonder, aren't prayer and meditation just cultural versions of the same search for inner peace? Didn't even Jesus in some way practice meditation? Over a century ago, a Russian traveler named Nicholas Notovich claimed that Jesus had actually studied in India and learned from Hindu yogis and Buddhist monks. His story made headlines in Europe, but scholars quickly discovered it was a fabrication. No credible evidence has ever supported the idea that Jesus borrowed from Eastern mysticism. The Gospels show something entirely different. Jesus did not teach people to empty their minds into cosmic silence. He taught them to pray to a Father in heaven. He prayed with words. He prayed with tears. He prayed with trust. His relationship with God was not an impersonal state of consciousness, but a living bond between Son and Father. This is the beauty of prayer. It is personal. It is relational. It is transformative. Where meditation tells you to look within yourself, prayer invites you to look upward and outward. Where meditation seeks calm by detaching from the world, prayer finds peace by entrusting your world to God. Where meditation says, empty yourself, prayer says, pour yourself out and let God fill you. Now it is true, meditation can provide temporary calm. People do experience moments of serenity when they practice it. But the calm of meditation is fragile. It depends on your ability to keep your mind still. The peace of prayer is deeper. It does not depend on your control, but on God's presence. Meditation may leave you with yourself, sometimes calmer, sometimes emptier, sometimes unsure. Prayer leaves you with God, and in His presence you find forgiveness, guidance, love, and a peace that endures beyond silence. So today, whether you come as someone who meditates or someone who prays, I invite you to look deeper, beyond silence, beyond calm. What if peace was not just the absence of noise, but the presence of someone? What if true transformation was not found in losing yourself, but in opening yourself to a God who already loves you? Thank you for staying until the end. If this message has brought you clarity, I invite you to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next video. See you soon.